Let's talk about mindset. This is my favorite subject by far. There is a reason that I stress mindset first. Mindset is number one, and we use the physical, whether it's exercise, diet, the various challenges, masogis we could call them. All of those things are just vehicles to develop mindset. A man is revealed to himself through adversity. A woman is revealed to herself through adversity. In those deeply adverse moments, in that incredible stress and pain and just feeling that there's no way out, and then you start to claw and dig and work your way through it and find a way out. In those moments, you find out who you really are. You discover another person sometimes that you didn't even know was there. And that's why we use those exercises and challenges, and that's why my program is structured the way it is, because I'm introducing you to yourself that you might have never met, or maybe you met a long time ago and life piled on top and you forgot that person existed, but I'm reintroducing you to them. And so that's why I talk a lot about mindset, and I stress mindset constantly. It is the biggest piece you have to put in place. Now, I like to say that mindset's everything and everything's mindset. And you're like, well, what's that? It's like some wordplay. It's really just a shift from thinking that I'm just floating through life and I'm brushing my teeth, I'm driving to work, I'm talking to a friend or a coworker or somebody random at the coffee shop. But in everything that I'm doing, if I start putting conscious effort into it and making myself be present here, now, right here, right now, 100%, right? Zero distractions, focus on the task at hand. I'm training my mindset. I'm bringing intention to what I'm doing. And that's super important for the things we're going to build on later. But right now, let's just get into it. Got my handy dandy whiteboard here, got some markers. Hopefully it's not going to be completely backwards. I set the camera up so that it should, let's see what happens. All right, first, mindset, right? With my mindset, what do I want my mindset to look like? I want my mindset to be adaptable, right? So, adaptable, that's number one, right? Under the mindset. The very first thing I want to have an adaptable mindset. I don't get stuck on problems. I don't get stuck in situations. I immediately pivot, move, shift. It's almost as if I have this constant rolling Rolodex or spreadsheet of contingencies so that I never am without an answer to whatever life throws at me. A tornado or a bad storm, or I'm caught in a blizzard and power is out. I want to be the one who can immediately shift, adapt, and move forward with a plan, right? That's mindset, right? That's training myself to look for solutions, for acknowledging the problem, but not dwelling on it more than the time it takes to realize what we're dealing with and then move, right? Then after that, how do I become adaptable? Well, I have to be positive, right? So I have to have this positive, can-do attitude. I can make it happen. I believe in myself. I have solved hundreds of problems. This is just another day for me. I'm good to go. Let's get it. Now, where does that come from? Experience, voluntarily putting myself in bad situations, training, going, seeking out knowledge, looking for people who are like, hey, how does that guy solve that problem? How did that gal solve that problem? You go find them, train with them, and see what it takes, see what they can share with me, see what we can put together to make this happen. After that, adaptable positivity, that's what feeds into my ability to be adaptable, is my positive attitude. I believe strongly that I can solve this. My can-do attitude, I'm willing to get after it. I'm willing to start working towards the solution, not dwelling on the problem. And how do I develop this? How do I make this happen? Well, part of it is what I said. Training is a piece, right? Training, right? Experience, right? Those things feed into it. That's what makes me know that I can do this, right? This creates this. These two create this. It all feeds together, flows together, creating an unstoppable and indomitable mindset that will not give in to whatever is facing me. I want you to be the guy or gal who, even if you're buried under a pile of rubble, you are looking for pockets of air and ways to dig your way out. You're not waiting for someone to come rescue you. You are on it. You like, here we are. I'm squished. Let me assess my body. What's damaged? What do I have around me? Let's get to work, right? That's what I want you to do. That's mindset, right? Now let's look at the next thing. What we're talking about, the most important piece. Here's the other thing. I want you to think about mindset, right? What if tomorrow, God forbid, something bad happened to me and I lost the use of my part of my body or most of my body? What would still be here? Right? I don't have the ability to run and lift and shoot and box and wrestle and all that good stuff anymore. That's all gone now. Would I still be here? Would I, the capital I, still be here? Of course. Because mindset, the mind, whatever it is that we're talking about here, the will, is this undefinable thing that exists in all of us. It's like this symbiote that's driving the vehicle, right? And there's some folks, I have some friends that say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And sometimes when I think about that in relation to this stuff, I think that's basically mindset. That's basically will. I'm using this human body, this form, to reveal the strength of this being that's inside of me, of who I really am. Anyway, not to get too far off into the weeds on that, but I want you to think about that because that's where we're going to end up going. Now, mindset, adaptability is the key. Being able to rapidly make adjustments. We want to be positive. That's how we get adaptable, is we are positive. We have that positive mental attitude, that can-do attitude that says, man, just let's do it. Let's figure this out. Training and experience reinforces that. Now, let's look at how do we practically right now begin to develop that positive mental attitude. If I have an overwhelming diet, my diet is overwhelmingly negative. I'm consuming negative things. Where is the room for the good? Where is the room for positive things? If I'm eating a diet made up of hot dogs and Twinkies, and then I go out and I try to run a record-breaking 400-meter sprint, and then I come in, I don't even finish it because I end up puking halfway through, or I cramp up, or I do finish it, but it took me 5 minutes. Is that a surprise compared to I figured out what diet works best for my body, how I need to eat. I ate optimally for 2 weeks prior to this thing, and then I go out there, I'm well hydrated, I'm trained, I'm prepped, I'm ready, I did it. And then I come in with a 52-second or 54-second 400-meter run, and I'm like, hey man, I did all right. I did good. I came in 1 minute, and I'm happy with that, and it's repeatable. I can do it again and again and again. Now, what was the difference? I consumed positive energy. I consumed positive foods and fuel to drive the machine. This is the other machine we're driving. And so how do we feed that? Yes, the stuff that we feed our physical body also affects the brain, right? The brain burns a lot of calories. If you ever experienced brain fog from different diets and dietary practices, then you know how crucial the right foods are to performance, brain performance, mental clarity. But the other thing is all the noise, all of the garbage, right? First things first, I'm going to recommend to you guys is something that I put in play a long time ago, which was stop watching the news. A friend one time said to me, hey man, look up news in the 50s and 60s and the 70s and even the 80s. Look up the news and then look up the news after the 24-hour news cycle started and observe the difference. And that did it for me because I began to see that they were feeding problems. They were feeding strife. They were feeding divisiveness to us to make themselves the sole source of information, right? Think about this, and we've all experienced this person. You have a group of people who are fighting. They are just in conflict, whether it's an office or a team or whatever. And they're always at odds. And then you start to interview them individually. And it's, well, so-and-so said that this person said this about me, and they think this about me. And then you talk to other people and you keep getting the same name. I'm just going to say Susie, right? Just a generic Susie. Susie said. You keep hearing Susie said. Now you realize that Susie has made herself the center of this universe. Everything has to revolve around her. Because in order to know what's going on, instead of me going to Brad or Jason or Tom or whomever that I think has beef with me, instead of me going to them and saying, hey dude, what did I do to offend you? I go to her because she has the updates. She's the source. She knows all. And so she's created this chaos where everything revolves around her. And there's a whole thing about that. You can look it up, read about it. It's very interesting and it's very easy to recognize once you understand it. But the news is Susie. The news has created this world where we go to them to find out why my neighbors hate me. We go to them to find out why the conservatives or the liberals or the pick a category, why they don't like me because of, oh wait, tell me, because I don't know. And so, as soon as I realize that's what's happening, the only thing I need from them now is the weather. And guess what? They're wrong about that most of the time. The same way I get my news is I walk outside and talk to my neighbors, or I go to a store and I talk to the folks around me and I have conversations with real live people. That's also how I get my weather. I walk outside and take a look, right? I'm joking, right? If I'm going on a hike or we're going out on an adventure, we're going to be out in the countryside and the hills or whatever, or the desert, absolutely going to get my weather report from a trusted source, right? But you get my point. Cut them out, right? First things first, I cut out the news. You are useless to me. You have nothing to offer me. I cut the news completely out. I don't watch that crap because, again, a diet of negative will create negative results. You cannot create positive from negative fuel. It's just not going to work, right? Cut the news out. Get rid of it. Don't let them keep you on the hook. Refuse to play along, right? Also, that's time that you could spend reading or having conversations with loved ones or 100 other more positive pursuits, right? A hobby, anything. Build a model car, anything creative that allows you to tap into the source, right? And stay away from the garbage and the energy vampires, right? Which we're going to talk about next. Also, social media. I love social media. I get to see my friends' kids. I interact with people. I have conversations. I share information. People share information with me. I learn things. But also, they try to feed me stuff to make me think that everybody's out to get me. That the world's falling apart. The sky is falling. Everything is going up for grabs, and that my neighbors hate me because of the sign in their front yard or whatever. And I just refuse to play along. I have conversations with people every single day from all walks of life, hundreds of different people from all walks of life, and I just won't play along anymore. Stop falling for the clickbait. Stop falling for the articles. Stop sharing the articles. Don't play along. Again, unplug. Pull out. Get out of there, man. It's garbage. Go on there to communicate with friends. Go on there to share pictures of your family, your friends, your accomplishments, your positive things. But as soon as the political divisiveness, the hatred, all that stuff starts to show up, get out. You have to guard your mind. Because again, what are we building? We're building mindset. And what does mindset lead us to? Adaptability. Where does adaptability come from? Positive mental attitude. The belief that I can withstand anything and I can solve any problem. And I can't have that if I think Everything is a problem. The world's falling apart. Doom and gloom. What's the use? What's the point? It's all going up for grabs anyway. Even if it did, wouldn't you rather go into that situation thinking, I know how to source water, I know how to source fuel, I know how to source food, I know how to build community, I know how to create a network of communities where we can all work together until we get this figured out? Wouldn't it be better to come from that direction? I don't know. Not that I spent a lot of time thinking about that crap. So social media, if it's not serving you, if it's not making you feel better about your life and about what you're doing, then do social media differently. Next, people. This is the last one we'll talk about today. All right? People, psychic vampires, emotional energy drains, negative energy drains. People that just come into your circle and just suck the life right out of the room. People that just pull you down. You know what I'm talking about. The people that you spend a second around them and you just feel like you need a shower. Like they just come in and they just dump all this crap all over you. Nothing's ever good. Nothing's ever right. Life sucks. No, there's no good people out there. Everybody is just garbage. You don't need those people. Is it hard to cut them out? Yes. Will you feel guilty? Yes. Will they move on to another victim? Yes. Will they find another person to latch onto, sink their fangs into, and drain the life out of? You betcha. You absolutely can bet on that. They will find somebody else and suck the life right out of them. And so you need to pull the plug. The relationship you have with them, especially here, if it's somebody that when you see them text or you see them call, you're just like, what now? You found them, right? Unless it's somebody from work or a work-related thing where it's like they got to call you, and when they call you from work, it's something that you got to solve at work. But again, we're back to mindset, adaptability, positive mental attitude. You should get energized when you see those calls, because here's an opportunity for you to exercise that ability to problem solve and get after it and show your worth and earn your money by showing that, hey, I can solve difficult problems that the people on this phone can't. Cool? All right. Cut those people out. They got to go, man. They are sucking the life out of you. You know it. And hey, look, if you have a hard time getting rid of them, give me a shout. I'll talk to him for you. I'll just tell him he's not available. She's not available. I'll take your calls. I'll just play the game with him. Send him in circles. I'm kidding. But in all seriousness, it might be worth a difficult conversation to say to them, hey, I can't do this anymore. It's not that I don't care for you. It's not that I don't care about your problems. I do love you. I want you to solve your problems. But I've given you advice. I've talked to you. I've offered to help you. I've offered to do whatever it takes to get you out of this situation. And you don't want to get out of it. You seem to enjoy being in it. And I don't want to participate anymore. That's a fair conversation to have. And you know what? It might be the kick in the butt that they need to get off their can and get to work and fix themselves. Those people, cut them out. All right. Look, we're going to talk about this some more, but this has gone on long enough. I'm going to try to find a little more different environment. Right now, this is the best place for me to do this just because of sound and environment. It's super windy out here right now. I live out in the desert, what they call the high desert. We're outside of Boise. It's super windy and in my area. And so anytime I've tried to film outside, which is what I would prefer to do, I love being out in that sun, man. It just unintelligible. But I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the interaction we have on this channel. Let's keep it going. I'll see you on the next one.